Hey guys, and welcome to Untitled Games Train Sim World. So, yeah, thought we'd have another go at the East Coastway today. Would enjoy the 377 a little more, seeing that it's been out for a little while now, but still is a very popular route with those who have it. So, I've done a few more services, of course, since the end of the series we did a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, thought we'd make would be a good call to do a few more services on this run. So we'll start up East Coastway. We've done all the scenarios now, I've done all the main missions and all that, so really it's just a case of starting the doing some more of the timetabled routes. I should say timetabled routes, we could always look at the journeys mode. Current journey, we've done that, East Coastway journey. Chapter on the 377, and yeah, these are kind of just different services here. Also up to Brighton, Seaford, Brighton. Do a passenger excursion, or to Brighton. Yeah, it's kind of the standard really. But hey, should be a bit of fun. In fact, let's find a nice one that has a fair bit of variety. So Brighton to Lewis, or should be to Eastbourne. No, it wouldn't. No, sorry, what am I talking about? Lewis is the junction station halfway. Brighton Lewis, then return back to Brighton. Then trust the depot. A bit of a short one. Hastings to Brighton, Eastbourne End. Let's just do a timetable, I think. East Coastway timetable. How are you guys doing during the stream? How are you doing? Yeah, we'll do a clear weather J to start off with, and then the further we drive, I think we'll have more fun with the weather. And let's do a... where is it? Let's do a Seaford line first. We'll do the entire length on the southern branch. Start that. Let's get going. Welcome Scott. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. So, fortunately, as this isn't a tutorial run or anything, the loading times of these shouldn't be too bad. I know sometimes with the initial routes and trains and worlds, there can be a bit of a drag of the loading times, but once you start going to the missions and the tutorials, and the timetable, sorry, especially, then, yeah, they're not usually too bad. Likewise, how are you guys doing as well with the current lockdown situation? I hope you're all keeping healthy, keeping well, keeping at home, hopefully. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, I must say. Certainly away from the norm, certainly away from what we normally have to deal with. There we go. Unlock the doors. It's actually set first. The key on, forward, release all. There we go. So yeah, we're currently at the far end of Brighton. Wooden platform at the end, which is 8, I believe. Yes, it is. We're driving a 4-car set. Seaford, which will be the destination is also set up as well. Back into the seats and let us set up. Where is it? Screen. Seaford's already set its destination. That is fine. Couple of seconds. We can then close the doors, and then we'll be ready to depart. Love trying East Coast on Southern and see what it's like. I mean, I've been to the outside of some of the stations on the East Coastway branch. So I've been to Eastbourne, I've been to Brighton, I've been to Seaford, but not by train, by car instead. It was a fun excursion day trip with actually a workmate at the time. Hope he's doing well. But yeah, I'd say let's catch a train down here at some point. give this branch a ride. Now, I've done it with the Great Western. London Paddington to Reading is not a difficult one for me to get a ride on. So, yeah, this will be pretty good. I also need to do the West Somerset Railway at some point as well. Catch that one in real life. I'm sure it'll be a pretty fun one as well, actually. West Somerset being the first of the mainstream DLCs, the Heritage Run that we had. Right, let's get the train in motion. And let's get going. Just under a mile to London Road, our first station. We do get to enjoy the lovely Brighton viaducts en route. Yeah, the 377. It's an Electrostar train built between 2002 to 2006, I believe. Coming on the southern routes, you get pantograph 377. Is it 377 from the Great Western? But you get pantograph versions. And so, every Electrostar train ever, apart from those on the Overground, I believe, the Capital Star, have this big engravements to the roof, and basically that means that all these trains are convertible to the pantograph running, or if we can run in dual the pantograph as well as third rail, which I'm trying to find a contact chute of. Not on this car. Yeah, each carriage has a contact chute. Essentially allows the train to run with third rail. There we go. There touches the rail, and supplies electricity to the train. Smart little system. But I believe overhead catenary is now the more standard way of doing it these days. Pardon me. Yeah, more standard these days as opposed to third rail. As having an extra track alongside each line, which is around speed there, can prove quite costly, especially with maintenance. It's cheaper to do 2 rails replacements than 3. Compared also to replacing an overhead copper cable in the place of another steel rail. Right, welcome to our first stop, London Road. Some of these stations are really beautiful on this line. We have London Road here, so cutting out into that tunnel there, dug inside of a hill. It's just really beautifully set. It's a very pretty line, this, the East Coastway. Really beautiful in the real world, as well as the train sim rendition of it. Alright, so that would be too long now to depart. Another 25 seconds. Welcome Goran, welcome to the channel, welcome to chat. How you doing, man? How are you doing? So my lights on the departure there. So let's do day running, tail lights off. Rear train should now have tail lights. Yes, it does. Secure doors. Oh yeah, it's also got the slider to remind ourselves how long this train is. We're running a 4-car set. Let's get going. Next station, Morscombe, which is in 1 mile. The line speed now up to 50 miles per hour. Check that if that was miles or kilometres, so sometimes I do a lot of the German runs as well. Yeah, sort of looking pretty standard. You're very good. You're now currently getting to the end of Battlefront 2. Sounds good. Sounds good. Not trying to land any 727s, are you? Nah, it's a fun little aircraft 72. I do need to grab it at some point. I've used it. I know someone who had it and I had to go on their system. But the 737 was the one that stood out for me on FIG Sims setup. Like I've always liked with the old school aircrafts. The IXCG 737-300 I also should look into, but 732 definitely stands out for me. I do recommend it. If you're looking for an old school 737, I mean, you've showed you are more than capable of doing an old style train. I'm going to overshoot this station now. You show you're more than capable of doing an old school train, but certainly not so great at the navigation towards the end there. Trying to think, did the 727 come with auto throttle or altitude management? Because 732 certainly did not. It's manual throttle and manual altitude adjustments. I'm not sure. I do need to really brush up my knowledge of the 727. It's not an aircraft I know too much of. You want to get 733, but the price put you off. Yes. It's not the cheapest add-on in the world, but I don't know. I'll see if it ever goes on sale. If the opportunity to buy it pops up. So it's worth a jump there. Again, with these really pretty pathways here. Some nice setting this. Oh, got solar panels on that. No, it's not solar panels, that's just roof lights. No, not quite that technically advanced down here yet. Okay, you've got this little pathway here that leads us to the station, bridge that goes up and over. It is pretty. The staggered platform there. They don't quite end at the same level. Right, another 35 odd seconds now until we close the doors. Next station, then it'd be Lewis, I think. Just let me double check. No, got one more. And then it's Lewis. So I should check, because I know that some trains on this sim you can press the door alarm. It won't affect your loading passenger time. Some of them do. This one doesn't, so you could give it an extra 5 seconds. Lock doors. Doors lock a lot quicker as well. Right, Fulmer, then Lewis. The next plane for X-Plane will be the A300. Who makes the A300 for X-Plane? I don't recall that one, to be fair. Unless it's one in development you're looking at. So, try a little bit better on the braking there, shall we? Otherwise, this is going to be a pretty standard service. Nothing too much for us to worry about. 377, a very capable train, especially in acceleration. It's one of the things that the Electrostars do shine in. Speed it takes to get them up to, well, time it takes to get them up to speed even. Any builds is looking complete. Very good. Yes, so it is a new builds one that you are looking at. It's the development one. I was trying to think, was there one that had released that I may have missed? But yeah, any builds are usually quite good with their stuff. Nice and slowly. We've got a couple of minutes ahead right now. We've definitely done pretty good for our timing. Probably even a little less harsh acceleration there. Since we've got time, let's head out to a platform for a bit. Should be one or two discoverables here to pick up. But there's a shop here, not currently open. No posters on this side. Destination display up there. There's a map. So we're currently at Fulmer. Next station Lewis. South East New Haven Town. New Haven Harbour. Then to Bishopston and Seaford. No New Haven Marine on the map. So the station has since been knocked down. Look at the size of the staircase there. I've got a feeling. Is this the station that's closest to the Bryson Football Club? Yes, there it is. There's the Annex Arena. I love it because they actually have got the American Express logo there. So not actually too far away from then the... what's the motorway at least down here? I can't remember to save my life. But yeah. Fulmer is the game day station of choice. Alright, let's close these doors. Let's get going. So it's good 4.5 mile hop to Lewis. Get our first chance to really stretch this train's legs. Get up to speed. Yeah, max speed's 100, but I'm sure we can get a bit higher on this. Right, because we're a 4-car train, so we won't have too much of a problem. We're doing the 8-car train setup of the 377, and unfortunately there is still a small issue of the stopping marker being in the wrong place. So either you lower your own score by moving the train forward slightly, or you have half the train sticking out the station. 70 miles per hour, that's the top speed of this section. A little bit braking as this is a downhill stretch. Again, just the sound of the train. It's a very, very good audio sample that I've gone for. There's the motorway. Yeah, it's a very good audio sample. Even from the inside of the train, this is what 377 sounds like. Right down to the high-speed whine. Alright, 2.5 miles to go now. Still going down the hill, so it's just messing around with the brakes there to stop train from going too fast. Whoops, a little bit of a nice spike there. I guess it's slowing up Lewis Station and the surrounding area, which can be quite large. Well, I don't have the lag spikes, but I guess running OBS in the background probably will add to that. That's our first AWS warning signal there. So I will need to pay attention to the signals coming up. almost certainly, because again, Lewis Station being a junction, we do have the alerts telling us that we will be taking the right-hand track, which means it'll be good high speed of 10 miles per hour when leaving the station, and not until we leave. Although again, 4-car train, that won't take us too long. If we're running an 8 or even 12-car train, it's quite a long stretch of 10 miles per hour to get out of that junction, get out the sets of points. Right, start sending the train down. We are a couple of minutes early at this point, so a slow approach for us alright. If this is Japan, I'd be getting a super rating of my on-time record right now. Nice and early. Decent stopping points if we ignore the one at Dingy, the second station. There we go. There's Lewis. Down to 10. No, I didn't slow down, despite the fact I said it would be 10. Welcome to Lewis. Go. Nicely done. More door release. So you have got plenty of time here. Use it to walk around the station a bit. So, directions from Lewis. You've got Brighton in that direction. You've got Seaford to the right, just around the corner. You've got Eastbourne and Battle towards Orr to the left. And then in this direction, it's the main line to London. Although, not long after actually leaving the platform, I believe the train does go underground. Head to the back. I'm not sure how much detail we'll get towards the far reach of the platform we don't really get to see. Well, that's always appreciated. Yeah, if you head to the back, track should curve around, and is that the start of a tunnel I see? Yeah, it does go into there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I can't think many people have actually been back here in Train Sim. How far can we go? Not very, apparently. Invisible wall stops you. And yeah, just curves around underneath the town itself. Right, well, if we teleport back to our train, because as I always say, train drivers have the power to teleport if they're a little bit behind on their walking. Let's close the doors. And off we go to Southeast. You have 6 minutes travel, 3 miles. As I say, the slow approach is what's going to be the bulk of that time. It's not a bad rendition of... Whoops. There's one there. So it's not a bad rendition of the 377, this. The only thing that's really wrong, I guess, would be the display there. It's a bit bigger. The real life one doesn't have that sliding animation, but even then, the train is very authentic. The detailing, the model, just like the dirt, we get a bit closer as well. The opening gangway. But no, it's just a very authentic train, this. The level of detail, you get right up close to it. It's fantastic. They've done a fantastic job with this train. Even then, let's say, that may not be the most accurate, but it's not that bad. Not too dissimilar from what Southern actually use anyway. It's a very beautiful train, this. Yeah, if you're up close, you get to see LED spots. Yeah, they've got the gangway suppression system at the top there. Suppression suspension. It's a little detail. I don't think I've ever actually noticed that top of the train there. Yeah, it's there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Alright, let's pick up the speed. And let's get going. Yes, I do need to start getting ready to use the horn now actually, because there are quite a few crossings and walkways that go across the railway line here. Oops. Fasten the points there. I'm not sure where that... Oh yeah, that is the main line, isn't it? Because I'm not sure where that branch leads to, but no, that actually is the mainline branch. And this was the break into Seaford. We've got a goods yard to the right of the railway, about there. And of course we've got Newhaven Marine, which no longer exists. Otherwise, Seaford branch, it's a very empty branch. Not much going on down here. Downhill section, so again a little bit on the brakes. Just stop from accelerating too much. It's just under 1.5 miles now to our next station, Southeast. Numbers actually correspond to the train. We'll check it at the station. I've noted that there are numbers on the panel there, but I've never actually checked. Have they updates as well? We're 377472. Yeah, 73472. That's very nice, that. Got a couple of another 4-car set and 8-car. Probably update that as well. Yes, there's little details that Train Sim World have that it just adds. It just adds to the experience. And there are other train simulators out there, Trains and Run 8 are the two main ones. If in Japan you'll have Densha to Go, but no simulator I think kind of spreads out, especially as far as Train Simulator. Train Simulator, there are now thousands of routes, thousands of locos, both in the payware and the freeware scenes. Train Simulator is massive. Train Sim World, still a little bit on the lackluster side, but now that we are seeing a lot more trains and routes release, that is changing very soon. We had Riv Games release their first third-party DLC for Train Sim Worlds. Well, I say DLC, it is an add-on because calling it a DLC, downloadable content, kind of infers that it's a requirement to say completing a game, while an add-on is an addition to content you've already got. Two different terms. Calling it DLC as DLC isn't technically correct. Yes, it's downloadable, but DLC has always been kind of the requirements to finish the game, while add-ons is an addition to an already complete game. Right, Newhaven Town next. Hey there Nick, how are you? Welcome to this channel, welcome to this chat. How are you doing, man? I'm not doing too bad. Looking at the old train sim world. Yeah, two whistle signs there. Since that crossing is fairly busy and doesn't have a gate in front of it, so that people nearby that train is coming. No worries, man, that was quick. Level track, so no need to apply the brakes too much. New Haven Town, about 1.5 miles away. As for timing, yeah, we'll get there around 10 past. We won't have too much time to look around and explore as compared to the other places. Start the braking now. There's the goods yard to the right. Train cuts power. Train regains power. Because on that crossing, as it is a large enough gap, contact shoes do lose their connection to the railway line there, so some moments where everything goes dark, but at the same time, it's very nicely done. Likewise, just another reason why there's a case for overhead catenary as opposed to third rail. Now you don't have to suffer any of these power cuts as a result. Because the train is always on a contact rail. Right, welcome to New Haven Town. So, after town, next station is Harbour. We then branch off to the left, and then go towards Seaford. Note stopping for Marine. Although after Harbour it does go down to a single line of tracks, so usually we'll be stuck there for a moment or two while times catch up. I doubt there will be a service on this part of the line, no there won't be. So we have got a free rail at this point, in here in our destination. Welcome Chris, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. There you go, it's only a short distance between the two stations, so nice and slowly we can roll in. It's 12 past now on the dot, so it's just a matter of seconds between our stopping and timing. Maybe here for a minute or two until we are clear to depart. I think we'll stay in the cab this time, have a look around. So this is New Haven Marine. I mean, this bit of track here is modern the way that it was in pre-2018, late 2018. So 2000 and something, the station closed, but there was always that one train that would terminate here and turn around. Then, so they closed the station, but the platform still existed, as well as the original station building. But then, in 2018 late, they then demolished the platform as well as the building, and just left the track. So, trains would still need to do the terminating there, but there was nothing in its place. There you go, power cut again there, while we go on this relatively large stretch of track without some rail. So, yeah, then there was track and no platform. And after 2018, early 2019, the track has since been lifted. And now there is nothing in its place. So technically, the one train a day that terminates and turns around doesn't happen anymore. No, it's Chris. Do what you need to do. So, Bishopston is the next station at 3:15. Here is the abandoned something beach. I can't remember the name of the beach, but basically in the early days of rail, this used to be a station here which gave people quicker access to the beach. Nearby. Too short. But, yeah. Used to be a station there, gave people greater access to the beach. The station closed in 1940 as a wartime measure, and then it never reopened afterwards because the station was not too busy before the war, and so reopening after would have just cost more money basically. And likewise in the 1960s, it was a double line, it was shortened to a single line. I think there'd be a fence there or something stopping from accessing this platform. That way we'd be allowed them to hit. Yeah, there's just nothing. We head back all the way to the last station, New Haven. We see where the track used to go. And where it cuts off, and now it's just that. I've not unlocked the doors. Oh, I did. I was on the wrong side. Whoops! I did the doors on the right hand, the right hand side, which is also the right hand side. We could have done that a bit quicker. Also, I can imagine it's probably quite a nice little area to live. Right up to the beach. Very quiet. It's a train once every 2 hours. Yeah, it's probably a really nice area. Although, a bit away from all the jobs and all that, so actually working in the Brighton area would have to be your main choice. Welcome Alex, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Oh yes, and also, I believe this branch is run by 313s, not 377s. Ultimately, yeah, it's a yellow signal, keep an eye on that. Signal space usually there. Speed limit, I don't want speed limits. Driver points. Oh, I'll double check that later. Normally have a pop-up that tells me the next signal within a certain number of meters. Less than a mile between two stations. Seaford being our terminus. Don't just go too fast either. Saw you on the programme with the last version, trains from Wolverhampton. Yes, the station, the ITV show. For those who don't know, basically ITV did a show a little while ago talking about the railways and how their day-to-day operation works. Oh boy. There. Actually, I don't normally like those. I might get rid of that. Yeah, so ITV did a programme about the railways and their day-to-day operation. And at the end of the 3rd episode, I did a piece on train spotting, railway spotting, with you enthusiasts. So that happened. That was a lot of fun to record. And yeah, made up this programme in the end. So I'm glad that a couple of people were tuned in for that. Yeah, it was only a 3-part series, although I'm hoping that ITV commission another series of it. But unfortunately I'm not in the loop with that, because my part was really just to do that one little piece on railway spotting and enthusiasm. So, yeah, the company that recorded it, if you ever want another role, give me a call, I'm always waiting. As I said, it was a lot of fun to do. I'm glad that people enjoyed watching it. Right, that was a 38-minute journey. Got a gold medal for that. Level 69 on the character. Level 70 on the character. Level 8 on the East Coastway. And how much is that? 174 points away from level 10 on the train. Most certainly. We'll get that on the next run. Let us head to the main menu. Go to the timetable. And let's pick our next service to do. I think we'll do an Eastbourne to Brighton service. So we'll do the full length. Actually, could there be a Lewis to Eastbourne? Perhaps on the branch that he's out to London. We'll do a slightly damper service. A little bit of rain. A little bit of clouds. We should do a fair bit of clouds. Keep the rainy atmosphere. A little bit of wind as well. Have a proper British summer there. We've got Lewis to Brighton. No Lewis to Eastford, I don't see. Eastford, sorry, Eastbourne. Okay, we'll do that service then. We'll do the evening rush. Not seen Eastbourne. You're not yet to get the ECL. It's a nice route. If you like your Electrostars, if you like your southeast southern, I don't know what I'm going to say southeastern there. Yeah, if you like your southern, if you like your Electrostars, it's a nice route to get. Maybe not the longest, but the level of detailing throughout the route is fantastic. And the detailing that train has as well, it's very, very nicely done. Right, so route to the doors. Sorry, need to put the train set first, so that goes in, set the brakes, yeah, it's fine, open you. So destination, it's to Brighton, that's all looking good. Welcome to Eastbourne. You are going to Hastings, so you'll take the right hand branch at the end. So behind you until here, until you branch off to the right. Not a busy station in the world, not too much going on, but very nicely detailed. We've got a couple of seconds before we can depart. Set this UI up how I like it, there we go. Yeah, a couple of seconds till we depart. We're for a 12 car train, are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, no, we're only an 8 car train. Not sure I thought it was a 12 there, just looks rather long. Also tells us on the panel there, so I don't know if you can guess it. Right, so as I say, I'm now waiting for the signal ahead of us to turn green. So as soon as that happens, we can then release the doors. It's a yellow, take it. And then a nice and slow departure. Our first station will be Polegates. Wipers. Also lights. Lights are a bit more important than wipers. Time running. Wipers, if I can remember how it's done. There. It's not the heaviest rain in the world, so I think intermittent should be fine for us right now. See, we're 377, 469, 73869. 73869. So I can't really display that. Very nicely done. Look at that. We're not actually supposed to get to Polegate until 17 past 6. It's only 12 past right now, so that's a good 5 minutes to get there. Green signal, so we can pick up the speed now. Train ahead of us starts to lay some distance. Turn on the alert system as well. AWS give me a chance to monitor my speed and signals a little closer as well. That'll be 2 yellow aspects. Next block will be a single. Yeah, 50 miles per hour should do us fine right now. Water reflection in the windows there as well. So the right lighting. Sun is behind the clouds. Just behind all the scenery, all the clouds. Right, we're going to a halt now because I can see the train ahead of us behind that water drop. That's nicely positioned itself. There we go. That train looks like he's now departing Polegate, so should be alright. Yeah, we're going now. What have we done there? There you go, reset the brake pressure. That's better. Into our first power cuts. Actually, no need because we're running a full train set, so. Oh no, there you go. There's the power cut I was waiting for. Now it looks like we don't actually stop here. We're continuing further for our first stop. We are a semi-express train. There's the Hastings service. So with that going to the right, we are now cleared. Increase speed and get going. Hampton Park, yes. Unfortunately, local knowledge for me is not the biggest. It's been a while since I last came to this area. Even then, I've been trained down there before, outside of this simulator. Next time I'm in Brighton or wherever, I'm definitely going to book a ticket to Eastbourne and just do a return journey. I mean, why not? I've done it in Train Sim World, so of course get to do it in real life. Maybe book a ticket with Seaford as well, Seaford service. At 1.3 miles an hour to Polegate. Let's start slowing down. Also, I must say, I mean, if I go back to a couple of years ago, long before I was doing YouTube and all that, I thought it'd be almost impossible for me to do like a mainline train driving service in the old train simulator, especially yeah, especially in your train sim, doing mainline services, because how do you know when to slow down and stop? Trains take a mild stop, you don't know where all the stations are. But since then, just the whole interface of Train Simulator and now Train Sim World, the whole way it's set up, the navigation aids and all that, it's really fantastic. Welcome Colin, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. Yes, be aware. Yeah, with the lockdown, unfortunately, travel's not looking so good at the moment. I had to cancel a flight to Dusseldorf, had to cancel flights to Mallorca, which is actually the weekend that's just gone. And on Saturday, I should have been on the plane to New York, but that one also has now been cancelled. I'm really annoyed by that, because my return journey was on the Boeing 747 with British Airways, so I'm sure I'll do it again. I'll probably go maybe in October, November time, or even just delay it by a year and go next year instead, because I'm not sure how people are going to look at travelling so soon, and especially for my own health and safety, don't really want to jump too quickly to things. Yeah, or at least this platform is long enough. Oh, it's plenty long enough. This holds a 12 car easy. Oh, there's like an 8 car shorter platform, but obviously not. Quite busy as well. Now again, this is rush hour, 6:15. People making their home. Fingers crossed, 4th October for your travels. Yes. Supposed to be in Scotland for the second week of Easter. Scotland was my last trip that I made. I went to Scotland about 2 weeks before the lockdown started. Well, actually, maybe a bit sooner than that. Hang on, I'm trying to think. When did the lockdown start compared to my last trip? So I flew to Inverness to see a friend and do some gliding up in the Highlands. And then I returned, because actually no, Dusseldorf was a weekend later. But that was cancelled before the lockdown even started, to be fair. Yeah, Dusseldorf was cancelled before the lockdown, because I just didn't want to risk going to Germany. So, yeah, it was about 2.5 weeks before lockdown started was my final trip. 23rd of March. I visited Scotland on the 12th and 13th, so yeah. About a week and a half, okay. Lost the entire month of April to it, which is definitely a shame. And as things stand, we're losing the month of May as well. Scotland is lovely. Scotland is lovely. Spent it around the Cairngorms, up in the Highlands. The Cairngorms is a beautiful, beautiful area. The mountains, the valleys. It's a beautiful area. First one here, sounds good. Your fun trip was 14th of March to Cambridge. It's been a while since I went to Cambridge. I used to visit there at some points. Used to love it up in Scotland. Trains are amazing. Yeah, some of the old ScotRail stock is vintage. I mean, I've had ScotRail getting brand new trains. 50-year-old HSTs. Actually, I say 50-year-old. They're not that old, the HSTs. They're built in the mid-80s. It's about 30, 40 years old. Loch Lomond's a nice area. I've heard of Loch Lomond, not been there. (1975), actually another 10 years before that. Okay, so okay, I really put it yeah, 44 years old. Start signing out for Berwick. Maybe we'll throw in a HSC around the end of the stream. Once we've done a couple of journeys on East Coastway. Yeah, we'll do a few more journeys on East Coastway, and then we'll do one HSC service from Reading to Paddington, and then we'll call that a stream. And after this run, I think I'll do a Lewis to Brighton. It's only a short run, but I think that gives us a full 12-car train, so that should be a bit of fun one to do. I think we'll then do a New Haven Marine. So yeah, we'll do at least 2 more services before we bring this on to an end. Oops. There we go. It's a short station, this, so I know it does fit every single door. I was considering, do we leave the rear set doors closed, but it looks like it will just about fit an 8-car train. When I say just about, I mean just about. That's where the platform dips. And at the front, a little bit more of a give, but by what? 2.5 slabs. 2.5 paving slabs. Not really. I call that a perfect stop. Especially if you can get the rear doors right in line with the platform there. Some call it an overshoot. I'll just call it perfection. Let's close the doors and let's get going. Next station. Glind or Glind? I remember when I last streamed this, there was a full thing about how you pronounce it. I'm sticking with Glind. Glind, Glind, Glind. There's another one as well, actually, I was mispronouncing the entire time. There was one guy locally who corrects my pronunciations throughout. Credit to him. I do need to go back and check it again at some point before I start making any super obvious errors. There's a whistle post. And there's the crossing. The camera here. Yeah, it's quite a fun train, the Electrostar. Lines. Top speed of 100s. Probably could do a bit more than that. The main giveaway for it is the acceleration. Works well as both a long distance train as well as metro service. Amazing reason why Great Western swapped them out from the 166s out of Paddington by speeding up services between London and Didcot Parkway, which is the closest now a 166 gets to London on the Great Western. The Greenford branch is a 165, I'm also going to add, so that one doesn't count. Yeah, Didcot Parkway is closest that a 166 gets to London, and that's only on the Oxford branch, which is not electrified. And I only know this because I accidentally took a Class 800 once to Oxford. I should have been going to... where was it? It's between Reading and Bristol. Beginning with S. I don't know why I don't remember the name of this place. I was there not too long ago. Went there. But realised that I need to change at Didcot Parkway. And I didn't. And ended up going on a diesel mode Class 800 to Oxford. Stuck there for a couple of minutes while I waited for another train to take me back to Didcot. Continuing my journey, arrived a good hour or so late, which was not too well planned. Alright, 0.6 miles, Swindon. I guess you're the one with the noise, Alex. Swindon, yes. Had to go to Swindon. Let me tell you, walking an hour late into a meeting is not the best way to get into someone's good books. Yeah, this is what you're going to call an overshoot. Not a terrible one, but not a long platform either. I think we'll just go for the front doors. I want specifically just the front doors. This is going to be a 4-cart size. There we go. Kind of actually holds an 8 car, but not on that. Oh, it tells you to unlock the doors, but it does also detect that as an open door train. Next station, Lewis. Now Lewis, I know for a fact, can hold a 12-car train, so there won't be any controversy on that one. These brakes are a bit sticky today, I must say as well. There we go. There's no chance I'll overshoot Lewis because getting into the junction that combines the line to Seaford, the speed limit does drop down to 10 miles per hour, so it's a very slow approach to the station. Spot that just to the left of us when the two lines combine, merge into one. Also, I do need to remember that the wet track does affect my braking. If I was running on the dry surface, then I'd probably be doing alright with my stopping right now. Wet track, wet brakes, not so. Start slowing down. Line that bypass Brighton also branches way at Lewis. Yes, it does. And that's the London Direct. Trying to think, when was the last time I took a southern train? Probably on December. It was the first Sunday of December in January. Sorry, first Sunday of January this year. I think it was the 7th. That could have been the 5th. Yeah, January 5th, 2020. And that was from Gatwick Airport to London Bridge. And that was after my return flights from Helsinki Airport. Spent 2 weeks in Finland over Christmas and New Year's. It's a beautiful country. I'd highly recommend to anybody looking to travel somewhere. It does open on February 20th. My most recent train taken full stop, that will probably be a London Underground. What line was it? Central line, I think. Yes, Central line. Actually, no, I lie. The last train I took was a Chiltern main line. I've been on Central line in months, yes. I've not been on any train in months. To be fair, I have totally lost every concept of time and date. What day is it today? It's April 28th. The month of April has just disappeared. Yeah, Chiltern main line was the last train I took. And that was out of Marylebone. Alright, speed down to 40, we're already at 40. Victoria's Clapham, Clapham to Balham, Balham to East Croydon, East Croydon to Purley, Purley to East Croydon. Oh, Balham. Gateway to the south. Right, down to 10. It says 20, I don't trust it at 20. I mean, normally we do stop at Lewes for a couple of minutes, so making this approach a little bit later won't cause any problems for us. I think, what will my first journey be? Once the world's returns to normal, I'm almost certainly going to be on an underground service. Probably a Metropolitan line. That's my closest service. Head up to Northwood. The BGT sound effects are very realistic. Yes. It does work rather well, that. It's nice to put together around on this East Coastway. Probably the best UK route. I mean, I like Great Western, I really do. But I think the benefit that this service has is the modern rolling stock. And the fact that it's later released. I'm sure if Dovetail redid Great Western today, it'd be fantastic. Leather detail, the routing, the track slide, all of that. It'd be amazing. East Coastway though, it's a very, very nice put together route. There, East Coastway rocks. Next station, Fulmar. Go alongside the American Express Arena, the home of Brighton and Hove Albion. East Coast 25. I'd say my favourite is probably still Great Western, but only because it's closer to me in a London-based route. But it's a very, very fine line between East Coastway and Great Western for me. Those two are still top. Favourite foreign route, on the other hand, I like Long Island Railroad. Long Island Railroad and Train Sim World's a really good one. And also the latest German one as well. That's a very nice one for the two branches, mainline and new S-Bahn service. I do like that you can also use your odd, say, Doppelstockwagen and intercity trains as well, running on the main line besides the S-Bahn. I think when it comes to like, the different variation of routes, the German routes have always been spot on because you've got the choice of slow stopper and high speed. The only British route that does that really is Great Western. Long Island Railroad rolling stock sounds dead ringers from milk floats. Yeah, I mean, it is modern day, super quiet, super efficient electric rolling stock. The M3. Is it M3? Yes, the M3. And I believe they are now releasing a new train anyway, the former rolling stock that the M3 replaced. So that one comes out soon. I'm definitely going to put my hands up on that. But no, there's something about the Long Island Railroad that I really like. I think it's just, again, the variation of routes. There are so many branches that come off of it. You've got Pacific, you've got New York Penn, you've got Jamaica, which branches out to Hempstead. You've got the line that goes out to Thingy, right in the Far East. Doesn't quite go as far as Ronkonkoma. If it went out as far as Ronkonkoma, then I think that would be a full stop, best route in the sim. And again, I should have been on that service on Saturday, had my flights to JFK not been cancelled. It's a real shame that. I'm really excited for that trip. Signalled my 21st birthday, but hey, it's not too bad here at home. LIRR speed control system, yes. Great speed control system, great in-cab signalling. It's a very nicely put together train. Just wait for the first train sim mod route to feature full ATO. All we're going to do is press a button, the train goes. There should be one or two scenarios where it's a train failure and you have to follow the train based on in-cab signalling. But yeah, ATO would be rather fun. Unless you've got Train Sim World. Don't you have Train Sim World, Alex? If not, I mean, you don't even need a PC for it. If you've got Xbox or PlayStation, then it is out for both consoles. And I believe the Xbox Spring Sale has also started today, so it is now on discount, if you can pick it up. PlayStation, I'm not sure if it's on sale, but I think Dovetail may be waiting for a PlayStation sale to drop before they do something on that as well. But that's one of the smart things about Train Sim World. It's not just a PC simulator, it's also a console simulator, and it works in a very smart way. I mean, if I get my Xbox controller now, not that one, not that one, not you, not you, not you, there. So I'm now using my Xbox controller. I can fully control train from here as well. So I'm going to do the next station to film up, just on controller. Do I like the Class 101? Ooh, I love it. I absolutely love that. The manual gearbox. Hands down, most fun training simulator. The 101 is a fantastic train. The Northern Transpennine, well, it's not my favourite route. I think the other one, Saltsburn to Huddersfield, was the best one. I can't remember the name of that one, but that's the one that goes through Thingy, the least used station, which has now closed. But yeah, the 101 is a very fun train to drive. I do like the manual gearbox. Harder than anything to drive, but it looks amazing. Oh yeah, it's not an easy train to drive, not by any means. It's a very difficult one to get your head around, especially if you're doing it for the first time. There's a reason why I never actually did a series of videos for. It wasn't non-transparent, it was one that released after. There's a reason I never did a series of videos for it, and that's because I just couldn't figure out the train systems. It was difficult. Oh yes, and the brake system. The air valve brake system, where you need to pump your brakes and hold it at the pressure you want. It was not an easy train, but I am so glad I mastered it. I hope it does feature again in one of these other train sim mod routes. No worries, Alex. Take care. Hope to see you again soon. So yes, as I say, I'm doing this next station on controller. I've gone and stopped a bit too soon there. Whoops. Come on, train. Reset the brakes. There we go. Let's get to the end of the platform. I'm not perfect with the controller, I will be honest. I'm still better on the keyboard and mouse. Yeah, take care, Alex. Talk to you later. There we go. So we can occur using free cam, control the doors through the D-pad. Don't remember how. There we go. It's lighting. This is doors. Next station, Brighton. So we don't actually stop at London Roads. We are now just a stopper to Brighton. I think I'll go back to keyboard now. But yeah, it's not a very... It's a very smart control system for the console. Continue onwards, another 2 miles to go, and then we will do a Lewis service. As like I say, I'm hoping that'll be a full 12-car service. That's full 12-car train. Then do a... if we depart from Brighton, so do a Brighton to New Haven Marine. And I don't know, I'll either do a HST or I'll do a Class 101. What will people be more interested in seeing? Do they want to see a HST run? Or would you rather look at passenger service in the 101? It's been a little while since I last drove it, so I still have to get my head back into that game. But it'll definitely be a lot of fun, that's for sure. Right, so it's going to tell me that the speed limit's about to change. 30. 101 definitely. Yeah, if you guys would rather see a 101, we'll do a 101. Go. So past this tunnel, head through London Road, over the viaduct and into the station. Oops. Well, I guess that was loading up Brighton Station. It's a massive building, that. And again, OBS doesn't really help when you're trying to load a million different assets on a slightly aged graphics card. It's a nice 7, but 6700, which is now a good couple of years old. GPU should be alright. It's GTX 1660. Not high-end, super top 2060 crazy power graphics card, but certainly not as low as some of the other cards I've had in the past. 1660's been a very nice upgrade for me. If you've got the money for something a lot more powerful, then absolutely go for it. If you're a little bit more tighter on your budget like I am, then the 1600 series has been a very good card to have. It'll run your top end games. It should run Microsoft Flight Simulator on stat releases, now that Microsoft Asobo have released specs. Yeah, my spec doesn't look too bad overall. Not perfect, but not terrible either. Yeah, I'll get rid of that again. Go. And yeah, trail stopping its sign. Perfect. Welcome to Brighton. Put the wipers as well. And set the train off. So lights off. Train off, set the braking to braking 1, which it is, must keep off. Destination also changing to wherever we're going to next, which should presumably be back to Ort. But overall, not too bad. Decent braking. We should now be level 11 on 377. Sorry, level 10. And also not too far from level 11 anyway. Level 8 on the East Coastway. And it's now up to 70 on the character. Right, we'll next do a Lewis service. That one won't take too long, as it is only like 2 stations away. I've never actually ever done a Lewis service on East Coastway yet, so this will be a first for me. You never know, it might even just be an express service non-stopper. Ooh, I do need to check one other thing as well. Do I actually have the routes for the 101 installed right now? Because I have removed a couple of routes to save hard drive space, and the problem is I don't. So what would probably have to happen is I will need to install that in the background. Drawyah, you have done a great job planning this, haven't you? Let me quickly install it in the background while we do these runs, and then we can do it. That won't take me too long. I may have to require a restart after, but that's fine. Manage my DLC. And I need to tick. There's 2 of them I need to get to work properly. It is Northern Transpennine, and I want to do it on the... where is it? Tees Valley line. which is already installed apparently. Cool, now you do that. Head back to you. Let me quickly check if I have Tees Valley. Should do. No. Yes, I do. Okay, so we will be able to drive without much problem. Right, let's do it. So, not Tees Valley. East Coastway routes. That's not East Coastway. This is East Coastway. Brighton to Lewis. We'll do a cloudy night. Into 377. I'm not sure it's taking that long to load. There we go. So do a later service, empty depots, empty stock movements, Lewis to Brighton. I want to do Brighton to Lewis. There we go. It's not a very long one. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Right, let's get going. So yeah, the M3 is coming out very soon, and I'm certainly going to pick it up as I just like the looks of it. The doors that are modded into the train's body, the rather fun front there. It does come in a slightly more modern livery compared to the old red of the Long Island Railroad, but yeah, certainly a fun one. We stop okay, so do make all three stop. We go to London Road, Morscombe, and then Falmouth. Yes, and the Baby Bullet, it's another train that I've got, but I've not actually streamed. Never got into the Baby Bullet that much. You get routed into the side platform on Lewis, loud train from Seaford. Okay, that's quite interesting. As I say, I've not actually done the Lewis services yet, so definitely keep a close eye on that one. So, how are you guys enjoying the stream so far? I've noted that we actually have got quite a few newer viewers on the stream today. Say towards the start of it as well, a couple of new guys who I've not seen before, so it's good to know that people are interested in the Train Sim World content. New change cab pens, head back to Brighton after toilet break, of course. I'm hoping the loading time's not because I've got the extra installs. Right, let's do this. Key in on, that goes forward, doors open, check that's for Lewis. Cab lights I don't particularly want, but we're going to have them anyway. Actually, that needs just to be station lights, which is fine. Yeah, should be alright for a departure. We are a 4-car service, so no hopes of my 12 there. Oh, what are the 12-car services then on Train Sim World? So why is Train Sim World frozen now? Oh boy. I actually knocked a certain keyboard command on my thing there, and now it's not moving. Of course, I've never seen this before. In my good 3 years of Train Sim World. How peculiar. Oh, there we go. Oh. Huh. Okay, well that was the second time Train Sim World has ever crashed on me. How about that for a super fun one? Error occurred because the app's already running. Alright, give me a second to close it on the task manager. Sorry about that. Train sim world crashes are super rare. As I said, that's the second time it's ever crashed on me. First time on stream or doing a video. Let's see, what's causing this to say that train sim is still running? Probably a Java service, but I don't know why it'd be a Java service in an Unreal game. Where is Unreal causing the problem? Right, let's kill you. Let's kill you. Thank you. Let's try again, shall we? Interesting note, 377 got traction interlock. It's a cool feature simulated in East Coastway. Has it got proper traction interlock as well? It's a very good train, this, on Train Sim World. Dovetail have done a fantastic job at replicating it system-wise. Yes, Kev, I've seen your name pop around once or twice in the past, but how you doing, man? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. If only Train Sim Mod was in the stream right now. It's supposedly loading. Again, I can imagine that running OBS at the same time doesn't do too well for CPU. There we go, there's the splash screen. I'm not doing too bad. I'm certainly enjoying myself. When doors open, you can't apply power until doors are closed with the same function, yes. Right, let's try that again, shall we? Thank goodness for the YouTube editor, where you can now edit live streams after they've saved, so I can just cut this out and pretend it never happened. But for you guys watching live, you get to enjoy the struggle with me. How cool is that? There we go. Let that load. Any second now. Do I need to kill OBS to get this to run faster? Hopefully not. Let's see if I can help it though. Task Manager, Properties, head to TS2, Priority High. Give that a boost. Must close Firefox in the background. There we go, there we go. That's what I wanted. Skip the intro, press any key, press start. There's the good old Chuck Norris lookalike in front of the CSX Heavy Haul background. Ain't that a classic? East Coastway, and let's set it up again. Timetable, train, slight cloud, no rain, continue. Scroll down, down, down to the 2220 from Brighton to Lewis. So yeah, we'll let that load and then we'll jump into the local service. Also quite interesting as well, I know that Dovetail have been doing a set of daily streams on their channel as well. They've had Matt Pedalston, they've had James and Dimitri all doing streams of their own on the Dovetail channel, which has been rather fun to watch actually. It's nice to see a couple of different faces around Dovetail, trying out their simulators for people. Dimitri's streams I do always enjoy. Dimitri's quite good. Matt Hiddleston, of course, is a classic. James not bad either. I do like the Dovetail team. They are good people. definitely have a lot of passion. And if you want to know true passion, go have a conversation with Matt Peddleston. 5 minutes with him and his knowledge of trains, it is just beautiful. Beautiful stuff, that. It is amazing. If you fancy a good speed 377 service. Yeah, can easily exceed the 100 mile per hour limits. I know that HSTs, they can easily exceed the 125 limits. During the test runs, they got up to about 140, and because the government wanted to promote the advanced passenger train, the APT, actually ordered the test run to be stopped early. And so that's why the HST has a limit of 125. It has a overall top speed of 140, the fastest ever diesel train. And the record could have been a lot higher. Right, so passengers boarding, that won't take too long. And then we'll make our first stop at London Road. Yeah, cheers for your patience, guys, with that restart. Hope that wasn't too much of a problem having to reload the simulator there. Alright, got another minute or so. Give us a minute to explore the beautiful architecture of Bristol, of Bryson Station. It's a very, very fancy interior. Kind of reminiscent of Marylebone, actually. Just a few more platforms. And you kind of see where the original style train workshop goes. Leads out to this bit here. Then it kind of pushes out, has all your main station facilities. I mean, like this here. This is classic railway station architecture and offices in Britain. Marylebone has it. Bristol Temple Meads has it. King's Cross not so. They got moved during renovation. Euston certainly not. During the destruction of the station in the 1980s. That was lost. If you want to see what modern day preservation destruction looks like, welcome Sasson, how are you doing? If you want to see what modern day preservation destruction looks like, go have a look at images of the original Euston Station. I'm not so much a fan of modern day Euston, as it just doesn't look like a grand London terminus. But 30, 40 years ago, it was grand, massive. Now it's a fairly modernist architecture style station of concrete on top of more concrete. Easy to walk through. I mean, I can easily get from platform to platform, but the style of it just didn't make it really. Yeah, it's been a little while, Saturn. I hope you're doing well. I hope you can see yourself. Hope you keep yourself healthy as well. I'm not doing too bad either. Stuck in at home a little while. Best built station is St Pancras. Oh yeah, St Pancras Station is my all-time favourite. I just love walking through the station, looking up at the iron arches. It is a fantastic station. Back when I worked up in Elstree, I'd take the Thameslink on a daily. And so I'd take the Met line into London, as that's the easier way to do it. I could have done a direct to Elstree by bus. Probably would have saved me a couple of minutes and a bit of money as well, but just because I loved that station so much, I take a Met line into London, change to a Thameslink at St Pancras, and I just loved looking up at the archways. It looks amazing. You walk through, you have the guy on the piano playing music as well. It was just a fantastic station. It still is a fantastic station. Don't know why I talk past tense. What do I think of Nottingham? I don't know. Never been to Nottingham. Not seen the station. At least I've not seen recent pictures and all that. So unfortunately, it's not something that sticks to my mind, I'm afraid. And yes, I've never been to Nottingham. I've been to Bergamo in Italy, but I've not been to a number of major UK towns. King's Cross I like. King's Cross I like. Certainly not as grand as St Pancras, but it's a nicely built station. It's very historic, and also the modern extension to it as well. I think that looks beautiful, especially on the insides. The extension that kind of bridges the gap between King's Cross and St Pancras Station. Doncaster? No idea. Never been to Doncaster. Go. Station at Morscombe. 1 mile. Yeah, not been to Doncaster. Got a minute to travel to 2 stations, but given the distance, we don't need to go too fast. Would I like more, the Class 43 or the Class 91? It's controversial, but I'm going to say the Class 91, the Intercity 225. Main reasons for that, the Mark IV carriages, they're very nice to ride in. So we can move the train a little bit more forward. The brake's not releasing, there we go. Yeah, I like the Mark IV carriages, they're fairly comfortable. And, yeah, being an electric train, it's just a bit nice on the environment as well. That passenger just disappeared. About spanking new Mark V coaches. I've not seen too much of the Mark Vs, to be truthfully honest. Not a set I've seen too much of, but I've heard mixed reviews about them. The one downside is the seats. Modern train seats aren't so nicely put together, not too nice to sit on. But the main thing for that is the seats are thinner, and therefore we can fit more of them on a carriage. Yeah, Mark Vs should be rather interesting. I'd like to see how that changes things around. I hope they have nice seating as well. Even if it does call for airline style seating. When you look at some of the modern day seats they stick on airlines, they're actually more than enough. I mean, Ryanair gets a fair bit of criticism for its interior, but if you look at some of their more modern interiors than the newer aircrafts, with the slimline seatings, I mean, those seats are tiny, but they're comfortable to sit on for a good 2-hour journey. And they're small enough, you can cram maybe an extra row or 2 in per plane, but again, regulations won't allow that in aviation due to the fact that an aircraft can only hold a certain number of people to allow for an evacuation within 90 seconds. But, yeah, certainly it would be Interesting one to look at. Airline seats in the train. I mean, Virgin kind of do that in Pendolinos. That was actually a specification designed for that. Bit of an odd question. Toilets in the 390 standard class are talking toilets. Yes. The Virgin Pendolino... Sorry, not Virgin Pendolino. The Avanti West Coast talking toilets. Yeah, talking toilets were a thing that Virgin Trains introduced to kind of put a bit of their modern stylistic love into it. You also had that competition as well, where you could be the voice of their toilets if you entered that. But if you want a proper talking toilet, go to Japan. Those things are crazy. I've not been to Japan myself, but I've had stories over that. But I don't know. A lot of people complaining about it. I don't mind it myself. It's a toilet. It has a sink. It has a toilet. It has a hand dryer. It has a supply of tissue paper. What more do you need? So what? There's a lady talking to you from a speaker mounted right above your head. With the fancy mirror that told you to shine and be a star of your own journey. Yeah, Virgin were an interesting railway company. They had their style, the Richard Branson style. And now, look at Virgin Empire these days. It's really now starting to fall apart, really. The airlines are going out, the trains have gone. Imagine taking please do not flush your bills down the toilets. Yeah, I think actually it would help for the visually impaired, but there needs to be a certain way to do it. I mean, to be fair, if you think about a toilet, it's not exactly the cleanest environment in the world. Do you really want braille signs on the walls for people to touch? Not particularly. Right, next station, Lewis. We'll then do one more route from Newhaven Marine. And then I'll give you a masterclass in the 101. No, so I'm going to do two more runs. I'm going to do one more run in East Coastway, and I'm going to do a run on one of the other routes, I can't remember the name of, from the one that goes through Huddersfield. I'll be doing that in the Class 101. These people seem to want me to suffer. Again, I say suffer, I mean, it'll take me a moment or two just to remind myself of the controls, but it's not a difficult train to drive by any means. To be fair, I think you guys do quite enjoy my Train Sim Mod streams, so I'll have to do these a bit more often. I think maybe I'll do yeah, Tees Valley, cheers. Yeah, people seem to enjoy my Train Sim streams, so I'll definitely think about doing these a bit more often. I like doing Flight Sim at the weekend because you can definitely get a longer flight in without the need for sticking in and out of work, but some of these train line routes can be a bit shorter, and so I think for a Tuesday night or Wednesday night, something in the week, it's actually a nice way to break things down a bit. Especially with the lockdown, I mean, for me, it's a way to kind of actually talk to real people for the first time in a week. I mean, okay, I've got work conference calls and all that, but I'd like to talk about other things. And I hope you guys enjoy watching these as well. A bit of entertainment, a bit of things to... a few things to lighten the mood, really. Maybe even try and reintroduce Euro Trucks a little bit. It's been a while since I started a Euro Truck Simulator video. Load up Truckers MP, see if people are interested in that. I should do on the Western Main Lines Train Simulator. That would be interesting. I need to check if I own Western Main Lines. I'm sure I do. But yeah, that would definitely be a fun one to go for. London to Exeter. And I own all the Thameslink lines, so I could do an entirety of the Thameslink from Brighton to... where does it go? It's like Peterborough, I think. Be a crazy long journey that, but it is possible. One guy has modded it all together. Everyone talks about my accent. I don't get my accent. Everybody loves it. I don't think it's enough. Everyone says it's a nice, soothing British accent, but my accent compared to most Brits is nothing. Let me tell you. I always wanted a, not Cockney accent, but I've always wanted a more of an affluent British accent. What I've got is just a disappointing Londoner. And yes, Bedford, of course. Oops. Right, just over a mile to go now. That sounds more English mixed with Welsh. I mean, I am half Polish. My mother's side of the family does come from Poland, so that's probably where the mix is coming from. And then again, my father's side of the family is Midlands, Dudley. So my accent really is just a mix of Eastern Europe, Midlands, and whatever London I've kind of tweaked it to throughout my life. Welcome back, Goran. How you doing? I'll be switching tracks now to the right hand sides. And that would be for an anticipation to head back to Brighton. We're heading now to Lewis, which will be our terminating station. I'll do one more journey heading back towards Brighton, and then afterwards I'll do a route in the 80s from the BR101. When you get to your last stop, make a runaway train. I could try that. And there you go. So that's the train now waiting to go. And until I clear, he can't move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the brakes on. We'll sit here. And we'll ensure that you can never go to Brighton. Ooh, actually, no, I'm not going to do that now because the power's just cut. So what have I just done? So I'm now on a bit of track where the power cuts because there's no third rail. And we could have actually been beached there for a second. Having a beach train would have been very awkward because there'd be physically no way to move it unless it got another train to push it from the back. And I can tell you, Southern would not appreciate that. Southern would definitely not appreciate that. Fortunately, we had just enough oomph in that train at 1.6 miles per hour to get it going just a bit more. Alright, let's bring us to the end of the stop board. There's the forecast stop sign. There's that train now moving, and we can stop. Unlock doors. Won't do a return journey, but we might as well set it up. So that goes off. This goes to braking. Neutral. That will come off. Then this light will go off. That's already set to tail lights, I believe, so that's fine. And then that's fine because we can then change destination from the other end. Doors. And that would be that. Southern are very bad. Southern service is not the best for like on-time records and all that, but they do run on quite a lot of derelict lines and lines that really just don't get much love, really. A lot of their rolling stock's just not maybe in the best conditions, so they have their reasons for not being great. Northern service, again, it's not one of those where yes, their on-time record isn't great, but a lot of the stations they go to have probably not seen a renovation since the 1950s. It's been that long. I mean, look at their rolling stock as well. I mean, they're getting quite a few newer trains now, but for a long time they were stuck with really what was left. There you go, got all the trains now, so it has installed. I'll do one more 377, we'll do another clear date, and we'll do it from New Haven Marine. Try and find out one service a day. I'll say one. There you go, it's one route a day. Yeah, 7 AM. Might be one bit later on, I haven't got medals for, so I'll check. Nope, we'll do that one then. Yeah, Northern are now under Department for Transport Control, same as the London North Eastern Railway, LNER. Both of them are now nationalised rail services again. And again, it's another thing actually. Will the government keep these as nationalised services? Or in a couple of years, will we see them go back to privatised rail? It's one of those things that, on the outset, you don't really think about it too much. But in the UK, politically, that's a massive thing, that's. I know there's been a fair bit of talk about renationalising British Rail. Are Northern and NVIDIA first steps in that. Right, we're now leaving New Haven Marine, and then we shall do one more run, and that is in the 101. Needs nationalising. There's a mixed opinion on that in the UK. I mean, it's one thing having the entire railway paid for and run by the British, but at the same time, the last time British Rail was nationalised, it wasn't the best service in the world. The rolling stock were in dire need of replacing. A lot of services were suffering as a result, and yeah, it's one of those things that you look back at history, it wasn't always the best. Was that lazy not added a platform New Haven Marine? No, there is no more platform New Haven Marine. The platform was demolished in 2018. In fact, the entire branch is now demolished. The tracks have also since been lifted, and the once a day service no longer operates. So if anything, they've have added something. Yeah, something that's not even there anymore. Cheers for that, Patrick. Much appreciated. Thanks for subscribing. Close the doors. Actually, we'll be here for a minute or two before we depart. 30 seconds, not too bad. Go. Close the doors. Let's get ready to go. Set it before you say it again. Where's the 313? to be fair, unlike Train Simulator, which Dovetail... I mean, well, okay, there's two reasons why Train Simulator has a lot more than Train Sim World at the moment, especially with newer routes. Train Simulator, for one, is a lot older, so it's had more time to have content built for it, as well as a lot of licensing reasons as well. I mean, you look at why the 390 Pendino Advanced isn't on sale anymore. That's because they had a license agreement with Virgin Trains for the 390 Pendolino, but now the Virgin Trains don't exist anymore, they can't sell it until the copyright essentially runs out for it. So, if Southern did not give Dovetail Games permission to create the 313 for this branch, then Dovetail Games are legally not allowed to create the 313 for this branch. It's like, why does the Great Western not have the... Actually, the reason they don't have the Class 800 as well as the Electrostars is because they built it at a time when they didn't run yet, but a lot of the HSCs still has the old GWR blue liveries. Why does GWR all come in green, not blue? Because Great Western never gave Dovetail permission to license that livery, so... Yeah, it comes down to licensing at the end of the day. The train is real, but it's down to Southern if they want it added or not. It's like you're building a car game. You're building a game for Ferrari, and they want the 360, the 470, and the LaFerrari into the game. But for whatever reason, they don't want the Enzo in the game. So the developer can't build the Enzo because the producer, Ferrari, have said no, we don't want it. And so because they don't want it, they can't add it, otherwise there's then the case that Ferrari can then remove the licensing, as a result, I guess, ruin it. It has no value. I mean, yes, Dovetail Games could build this route without all the Southern livery, but at the same time, without Southern, this isn't really Southern. Details on authentic driving the real world version. Of course, I mean that's always the argument for it. If the 313 operates this branch in real life, then you should be using the 313. But unfortunately, that's not how the world works. Unfortunately, if Southern have said no, we don't want the 313, and Dovetail have no case to adding the 313. And yes, this is just a simulator, so ultimately it's not a massive thing to create too much of a cause for. I can see what you're getting at, but unfortunately there are a lot of barriers in the way to stop a lot of things. I wish on Great Western did the extension to Oxford and Swindon. I mean, we could always see it in the future of like a route extension. So we've got Reading. Maybe one day they'll sell a new add-on, which is like Reading to Oxford. And then if you already own London to Reading, by buying the Reading to Oxford, then combines the two to create longer routes. Train Simulator's got a couple of those, like route extension add-ons, where you can kind of put routes together and make an even bigger system. And I'm sure that's kind of the direction that Dovetail will take in the future. But it just comes down to the... what is it? It just comes down to how they're going to implement it and when. When did I get the game? I got Train Sim World back when it was still in the beta and only CSX Heavy Haul. And this was before I started YouTube as well. This was long before that. Where's on the wipers there? Yeah. Back when it was only CSX I got it. And it looks pretty decent back then. Fair bit of detail. In fact, you get in and out of trains and mess around with that. That was pretty cool. And since then, it's just been new routes, new scenarios, and really looking good. Had TSL a while got his... Let me try to reword that question. Had TSW been out a while and got East Coastway as soon as it launched? I believe Train Sim World was out by a year or so. East Coastway, I think, came with Train Sim World 2020. So first you had the Train Sim World beta, which was just CSX Heavy Haul. Then you had Train Sim World, which was Great Western, CSX, and Rapid Transit and Northeast Corridor. And then you have the new one, Train Sim World 2020, which comes with Great Western, it comes with Russia Ignored, it comes with an American route as well as CSX. I'm afraid I can't remember all the details of 2020. But yeah, it came with 2020. But I believe it is a separate add-on, so if you buy Train Sim World, you do need to buy East Coastway separately. But the benefit of that is that Dovetail Games do have sales fairly often, so if you want to get it, but don't want to spend something like 25 quid on it, which, to be fair, you get a very nice route and very nice train. I don't see a problem with that. Company's got to make their money. Really got to turn the lights on. Yeah. Dovetail are a company, but they make really good stuff. They've got a really good fan base as well. And so... wait a couple of weeks, it'll go on sale, you can pick it up for like 10-15 quid. Definitely worth it. Welcome British Airways, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Manufacturing by Bombardier at the Church Lane in Derby. Next station is Lewis. Not too far now to the end of the route. Let's say I'll do one more run in the 101. That brings to an end. We'll start slowing down now, so soon as it enters the points. Train passing there. In the UK, it is standard to press the low tone horn twice to signal a train oncoming. That kind of, that's to mean that you've acknowledged there's another train approaching. Next video. What will my next video be? It will probably be flight simulator related. The problem is, I'm not going to say what it is, but if it is what I say it is, it's going to require a lot of recording, a lot of editing, and yeah, it'll take a bit of time to produce. Hopefully it'll be worth it too. We'll see where it goes. There's a game on Roblox called Stepford County Railway. I don't really do Roblox on this channel, if I'm totally honest. I used to play Roblox a lot in my younger years. Had the Builders Club, which I think they now rebranded. Had a couple of 100,000 Robux, which came from a game that I built. Unfortunately, I lost all that Robux. Some guy logged into my account and nicked it all, which was probably when I stopped playing the game. But yeah, Roblox was always it was a childhood game. I loved it. But I think that one's now just going to be a good memory. Some of this Arthro stuff, I don't get Arthro, it just looks strange. So now coming through the points. This is the main line, and then it's a slow approach into Lewis. Got plenty of time though. We're currently heading towards Brighton. Welcome, Raphael. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're currently on the way to Brighton. Next station, Lewis. Oh boy, what did I do there? I pressed it! I pressed it! Okay, I don't mean I've got now the 30 seconds, it's like a 2-minute wait, isn't it? Okay, we'll turn it off then. And we'll continue to Lewis without safety systems. I'll wait until we get to Lewis before I turn on the drive systems. Did I watch Thomas Tank Engine when you were 5 years old, and he was my favourite engine? Thomas, of course. Everybody loved Thomas. Don't know what my next step is. I'm going to do another service in the BR101, and then I'll probably end the live stream there, because it is now 9:30 in the UK. By the time I finish the 101, I'll probably be around 10:30, so I need to get some sleep in tonight. Back in the morning. Yeah, just pulling into Lewis now. Live in the UK as well, sounds good. TVWS override helps avoid being starting off from the station platform. Right, stop here. Release. And there we go. That should now allow us to continue without being stopped. Where are you off? I think you're off to Brighton as well. Oh, you're actually terminating. Ah, you're the Lewis service, aren't you? So now you're going to have to wait for me to leave before you're cleared to depart. So, yeah, you'll be stuck behind me. Because you just have to really love a cocky engine like Gordon James. To be fair, again, you love your Thomas, you love Thomas. Whoops, we're on speed in, it's actually going way over that now. Actually, I always liked Percy as well. Percy was always a good engine. I'm also thinking about rewatching Thomas and the Magic Railway at some point, because we used to have that movie on VHS a while ago. And I recently found out that somebody actually uploaded the whole thing to YouTube. But I skimmed through it and I realised that so much of the film I don't remember. Or at least what I thought I remembered in the film doesn't actually happen in the film. I've created my own version of it in my head, so I'll definitely rewatch it. You never know. I mean, I'm not doing much these days, so it was certainly a killing afternoon. 3 miles to Former. We can then watch the Brighton Hove Albion games. Yeah, 60 miles per hour should be alright. 2.5 miles, or 2.5 minutes, so 1.5 minutes to arrival. And so, just keep the speed a little bit low on this final stretch to Brighton. It is a lot of fun, the East Coastway. Very nice to put together. Right, let's get ready to start slowing down now. Not too bad for the schedule either. It's certainly not going up to the speed limits at the moment. But yeah, certainly the whole acceleration of the Electrostar does allow for fairly swift movement between station to station, as I said earlier on. It's a very capable metro train, as well as a long distance, high speed non-stopper. It's not a high speed train, certainly not, but for what it is, compared to the UK network, not terrible at all. Way too fast. Gone too far on the brake, so we'll stop now. And we'll need to try a little more power. We're gonna train in. Out of all trains in the UK, which one's your favourite? Okay, it's another controversial one, Class 166. I don't know what it is about the 166, but I've always liked it. It's got a nice body to it, the network body, I do like it. The it may not be the fastest, it may not be the best accelerating, but it is a very comfortable train. Nice seating, nice interior. The only thing it's missing is sockets or chargers, but even then I do carry a battery bank with me anyway. But I do like the 166 and the 165 as well. It's a nice train, it looks good, and yeah, the 1.6 Garden Shed Engineering classic. next station is Morecambe. 1.5 miles. 166 like a diesel version of the 378. It's the other way around. The 378 is a diesel version of 166. The 166 came first, 1992. I believe the 378 came 1994. So it's a networker body, but yeah, they basically stuck electric motors in it and be able to offer third rail traction. Starting to now lag behind on the timetable there a bit. We are getting in a little bit later. Between Morecambe and London Road, I'll try and push for an on-time stop. But I don't want to overdo it. Go. Nice and quickly, lock doors. And as I say, let's try and push for a slightly more on-time service towards London Road. Following London Road, we'll be out terminus to Brighton. We'll put East Coastway to an end, and then we'll do our unscheduled 101. It will be good. As I say, I've always enjoyed driving the 101. The manual gearbox, the air pressure braking cylinder, which you have to balance to get the amount of breakage in right. Favourite Class 43 engine. Yours the MTU, that was large overshoot. Can't go wrong with the classic Valenta, can't you? The Valenta engine in the 43 may not have been the cleanest, but the high-pitched scream of that was glorious. I never got to hear many 43 Valentas because they're largely phased out by 2003, but looking back at videos of it, certainly was a powerful engine. I mean, they use Valenta engines to run the nuclear submarines in the UK. So whoever's idea it was to strap one to a locomotive was definitely drinking something. If it powers our nuclear Trident submarines, then of course it can run a high-speed train. Minute behind. Doors closed. Let's get going. yeah, if you look into it, the Vlenter engines are used in our nuclear submarines. I think they've been phased out as well. Actually, no, they haven't been phased out. I think they're just being rebuilt at the moment. But yeah, it's the same engine, slightly different output traction because one powers underground motor, the other one powers 2 sets of bogies. But yeah, same engine, same build, same everything. That's 20. Welcome to Bryton Station. What do I think of the 700s? That's the one on Thameslink, isn't it? Yes. I don't mind them. I don't mind them. Some people aren't a fan, but I've personally never had a problem with the 700s. Especially when you know how to, I guess, cheat your way around it. If you ever think that the seats are uncomfortable, always head to the very back of the train. The first class section at the back of the train is not first class, because first class traditionally has always been the side of the train that's closest to London. The London side is the first class side, so the rear side isn't. It's a decommissioned first class of that journey. As a result, on a single class ticket, you get to enjoy the full amenities at first. Same with most of. So for example, on the outbound journey now, so London is that way, up ahead, so this here is not first class. This here is now the same as standard class. You can sit on here with the standard class tickets and get the same benefits. The only downside, I guess, is now you're at the very back of the train, and so for a lot of stations you have to walk a bit further when you leave. But ultimately, it's same as. Also, I've just noted, if I quickly hide the chat window, we have just hit 1 million points on the Drawyah accounts, level 71. How about that? 1 million points, level 70. Level 9 the East Coastway, now level 12 in the 377. But I think that's that for the East Coastway, because we've now got something a bit more fun to finish off with. You don't mind 700s, but preferred the 465 on Chatham Main Line. To be fair, I mean, if you want to talk about train motors, my favourite train motor is the Metcams on the Jubilee line. There's just something about the one of those engines that I absolutely love. Right, we'll do a 101. We'll do it in clear because I don't want to start going all about wet brakes and slipping and sliding. We'll do a run. We have a half run, yes we do. Darlington to Middlesbrough, perfect. We'll go Middlesbrough to Darlington. There, go Darlington to Middlesbrough. As I said, it's taking me a second or two just to kind of remind myself of the basic controls, but once I'm in, ooh yeah, you're in for a bit of fun. Favourite tube train has to be, without a doubt, the London Underground A stock. Just shame it doesn't run anymore. There's something about the old Metline stocks which you love. The comfy seats, the overhead racks, the traverse seating throughout the length of the cabs. It was a nice train. It was a very nice train. If you talk about modern day stock, then it would probably be... It'd either be the 72 or the 73. The Bakerloo line or Piccadilly line trains. Because again, they have the spongy, comfortable seats. They just feel a bit bigger, more spacious than a lot of the stuff. Right, let's unlock the doors. We have to use the tab key because it doesn't have that. Rely on self-control. So this is the gear. There it is. Just thinking, where did my thing there go? See, that's Russell. This is gear. Brakes are U. A little bit of braking to hold you. Right, let's do this. White. I need to head to the back. And set you to, oops, red. Lights on the Middlesbrough. Perfect. That's the front of the shrine. And close. Will I ever play Water Subways 3 and 4? Water Subways 3 was my first train simulator on this channel. You have to go back a good year or two to see it, but Water Subways was the first simulator I did on this channel. So I've got all the scenarios for that done. Water Subways Volume 4, I'm not so sure. I'd be more excited to do the Paris line in the 1980s New York, but if I ever own it, if I ever pick it up, then sure, I'll definitely do it. Alright, stop the doors. And let's get going. Whoops, what am I doing? Forwards. That's that. There. Use the brakes. Where are we going? That's why. I need to. Handles released. That's been released. And I need to flick U. There we go. Why is it not working? Control C key on. That's why. Okay, release the brakes. It's been a while since I last drove the 101. There we go. First stop, Dinsdale. I think they're trying to be edgy though, as always for scenarios. A bit ridiculous scenarios. Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's had quite mixed reviews, but as I say, if I ever find it on sale, or if I ever find it cheap, then yeah, I'll pick it up, I'll give it a go. At some point I might pick up 2 as well. I mean, I've been on the German U-Bahn. Quite some of my brakes level there. My myself its position. If I do get it, live stream half the missions. Yeah, if people are interested in it, then sure. I mean, there's no point not doing it. Even though if it's the content that you guys want, then yeah, it's content I'll try and get you. Not the faster in the world. This has a top speed of, it's like 50. I think I'll do 60. Much faster than that. It's like bright liners and red birds. Yeah, it's a fun little training 101. It'll take me a second or two to kind of remember the controls, but yeah, I'm going. It's nice and easy. They sound like PTG rail. I'm not sure who that is, I have to double check. I'm not sure who PTG rail is. I might have seen some of their stuff, but has anyone heard of a person called Yorway? No, I'm afraid not. It's one of those where I've probably seen one or two of their things, but I've not put a name to stuff. Alright. Wait till this pins down now. We are a minute and a half early, so I could probably put a little bit of braking in. Start slowing down. Pressure. Nice slow approach to our first station. You can even hear the engine there as well. The revolution's kind of just rotating through the train as it keeps the power going. It's a fun one, 101. You want to drive it a bit more actually. Whoever suggested I should drive it, many thanks. I've forgotten how fun this was. Doing Minecraft live stream. Gosh, I've not played Minecraft in years. I'll probably somewhere in my login details, but I've not played it since 1.4. Not the current 1.4, the original 1.4. I remember back when Minecraft 1.2.5 was like the long-standing updates that lasted like 2 years until 1.3 came out. Here's all the brake pressure. Let's cut the engine to neutral. Fourth gear, sorry, is the good one to keep the engine running. And let's stick the brakes on. Right, doors left. Won't be here for too long. And carry on. There's new armor better than diamond, but everybody knows that leather's the weakest armor, followed by gold, followed by iron, followed by diamond. Sorry, iron, then gold, then diamonds. Gold armor is good for strength, but not so good for durability. Same as the swords. Left. Train into... There we go. First gear. Brakes released. Allen's Weston, 4.3 miles. Oh, modded armour. Of course, if it's modded, then it'd be better. Oh boy, we're not going against the control keys unlocked, hasn't it? Yes, there we go. I'm not sure, I must be pressing something towards the control key to switch off. Oh yeah, sorry. This has it twice. Get to Allen's West at 10:29. It's currently 10:24:30, so 4.5 minutes until we get to the next station. Need Java to play. Oh yeah, of course you use Java to play Minecraft. First it was Java Edition, and then we got Windows 10 Edition, and then it was Xbox Edition, and then I'm not sure what after Java, but Java was always the original way to play it. Keep £15 in the brake pipe to keep on the one that stands, saves time in resprints, yes. To be fair, the 101 at 60 miles per hour could easily do more if I really push for it. It's not fair to keep at that speed. This is Tees Valley Airport, I believe. Passing through, not stopping at. Tees Valley Airport was the least station in the UK for a number of years. That title now belongs to one further down the line. I believe it closed. The Red Car, British Steel. So now that title belongs to another station. I'm not actually sure what it is. The numbers released a couple of weeks ago, the UK station statistics, so I've not yet had a chance to go through it. motorway now, so braking in to slow down. Yes, Jeff Marsh went to Redcar British Steel. He's been to every station in the UK. There's no station you can say that he's not been to. That was the whole premise of all the stations. Him and Vicky to travel to every single station in the country. It was a heck of a challenge. It's fair they did it. And that was all funded with Kickstarter donations. But yeah, he did his video at Redcar British Steel. Beautiful little diesel rail car. That reminds me, I should really do a video on diesel rail car simulator at some point. I mean, I've got it. I did a video on it long ago, and then I kind of just never did it again. It's been updated a lot since. It looks stunning now, but I just never went back. It's one of those that I don't know why I've never gone back, because it is a solid simulator. It does a good job at doing these old style trains. We're a minute late, but for 1980s, 1 minute's pretty good. Left. Let's release some of this pressure. As soon as the passengers are moved, and then we can head out. Imagine if he did go to every station in the UK. He did. He absolutely did. If you go to his website, then he also has a map that shows what stations he went to. Oops, that was a bit of a mess up on my part. There we go. Is there a problem? Is there a route up to York? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is there a route up to York? Right, next station is Eagles Cliff. We don't have too much time to get up to speed already because the station is now just around the corner. Hasn't been to Ongar. He has been to Ongar. He's been on the Epping-Ongar route plenty of times. And Ongar itself doesn't count because it's not an active station. It's a heritage station, but since it's not an active running station anymore, it doesn't count. He's been to all 1,243 active open stations on Network Rail, British Rail. I mean, the common joke with him is he's never been to the Isle of Wight. He has been to the Isle of Wight plenty of times, but no one believed he's been there, which as a result he turned into a joke. Sure, I'll check out your server. Drop me a link, I'll have a look. And this part's the line. It starts splitting out toward the different freight yards. It's 2.5 miles to Thornaby now. So again, not a massive stretch between stations. Well, it's not too far from Middlesbrough now. I'll bring this stream to an end. It's too early. There we go. Go, 60 miles per hour, back on the throttle. There's a downhill stretch of track, so we won't have too much room with slow down. I could leave it at a slight thing there. As we slow train down, we're about to hit a set of points. So I'm sure the train will slow down for that. 50, yes. There we go. Back up to mainline speed. So yeah, there's obviously another set of tracks to our left at one point, but this has since been removed. Down to 30 now. We are now a mile away from Thornaby. Start using the brakes, slows train down to a halt. Not gonna lie, I think I'm actually driving this train a lot better than I was doing the Electrostar earlier. So I actually imagine my speed and brakes a lot more than I was. I think the one I won is down to the fact that I also have to concentrate a lot more to get what I'm doing. I mean, of course, in the 377, sorry, in the 377 you have to like manage your speed, your brakes, and all that. With the 101, there's a lot more you have to do to kind of focus on all of that. I mean, it's a manual gearbox train. It's certainly something that you don't have to deal with anymore these days. Diesel rail cars certainly weren't the longest lasting trains either. I mean, I think they ran until the early 2000s in the end, but in terms of construction, they were very much late 70s, early 80s construction until modern day the NU's got that all automatic. A little bit slow there. Not too far from Thornaby. That higher bit to the right is the pathway that ends down to the platform, so Slow approach should be alright. Again, we are still keeping to that 1 minute behind schedule. Not really losing any time, fortunately. Oh yes, unfortunately we are such a really short train, thanks by these very long platforms built for longer intercity services, so that's always a help. Alright, so let passengers board and deboard. We'll head out. Yeah, look at the size of that gangway, it's massive compared to a modern train. Massive. Alright, gear 1. Brakes released. And let train roll. Passenger must have the habit of braking. Of course, only the best. Welcome Joseph, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. Alright, next station is Middlesbrough, where the train will then terminate. And we're on the stream. Oh, it's been 3 hours now, 2 hours and 59 minutes since we started. Just now to 3 hours on the dot. Somewhere on the side. I think here would be rather good to enjoy the awesome high speed of the 101. Look at the speed of that. Could get you from London to Edinburgh in only about 8 hours. This was the future of railway. Once upon a time this was the future of railway. British Railways kept these things going for years. Plus British Rail delays, maybe a month. Yeah, times were certainly different back in the 80s. Alright, start slowing this train down, ready for our final stop. I don't really want to accelerate too much because we are less than a mile now to stopping, so if we left it at 45, that should do enough to carry us now to our stopping points. Let's got next by please last 37 away for speeding. Yes, we all remember the HST adverts. The classic British Rail. I mean, what kind of services would a police train even be used for? Go. Next signal's red. The station's a couple hundred yards just before that. There's a platform right there. It's been a fun one. It's been a lot of fun to jump back in the old classic, the old 101. It's been a while. I think by the end they got to figure out the controls enough to get back into service. Whoever's idea it was to get me to the 101, many thanks for that. Here we go. Welcome to Middlesbrough. Reset that back to 15, and then we shall close the train off, really. Presumably be returning back to wherever we started from. I can't remember. Nope, we don't get set at Dinsdale. What's our first set? Yeah, I don't know. Got a silver medal for that. What did we miss up on? Probably stopping distance, actually. 90 yards, 67 yards. Yeah, definitely could have probably stopped at some longer platforms a bit better, but that ultimately wasn't a bad run overall. Let's use a free roam when it's at that. Leeds, that was it. Leeds is where we started. That comes off. This is idling, this is neutral, this goes to off. Set you to red, set you to red, destination stays on, that is fine. Oops, go for the door. Head to the now front of the train. No thank you, that's my train. Set you to Leeds. Set this now to forward, so you in, you to forward. Signal's green, which is fine. You can go to gear 1 as well. I should take on gear 2. Lock doors. You to right. And we shall stand here. Alright, the brakes need to release as well. Bye bye. Bye bye, train. Bye bye. Bye bye. This was the time before driver safety systems and deadbands handles, so that is now a runaway train. I think that's a nice and fitting end. Well, it's a pretty good live stream, that. Can't complain. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are keeping well, keeping safe. And I think we'll bring this to an end. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to those who subscribed, liked, and did what you did. Many thanks for this chat as well. That was always appreciated. And yes, this train now rounds the corner and goes out of view. I bid you all farewell. Take care. Goodbye. Send the cover of the units. Denzel Washington 30,000 horsepower. Of course. Of course. Ooh, there's a freighter.